See, we are looking at the reversals in the cost center accounting, right? So yesterday we have seen 4 types of reversals. Then go back to do one thing. Here some space is there, no? The page number 56. Some space is there, right? Please write down. Reversal of next another reversal. So we have done repost of costs and repost of CO line items, right? And these activities also we can reverse. Next heading, reversal of repost of CO line items. Reversal of repost of CO line items. Path is accounting, controlling. Path is accounting, controlling. Cost center accounting. Cost center accounting. Actual postings. Actual postings. Repost line items. Repost line items. Reverse. Transaction code KB64. Transaction code KB64. Controlling area is equal to SSKV. Controlling area is equal to SSKV. Click on enter. Cost element is equal to 4,200,000. Cost element is equal to 4,200,000. Click on execute. Click on execute. Ignore the warning message. Click on execute. Ignore the warning message. Select all the line items. Select all the line items. Click on reversal indicator. Click on reversal indicator. Click on save. Click on save. Next, reversal of repost of costs. Reversal of reposting of costs. Path. Accounting. Controlling. Accounting. Controlling. Cost center accounting. Actual postings. Actual postings. Manual reposting of costs. Manual reposting of costs. Reverse. Reverse. KB14N. KB14N. Document date is 27/12/2022. Posting date 27/12/2022. Reverse document is equal to 7. Reverse document number is equal to 7. Within brackets, document number of the repost of costs, within brackets, document number of the repost of costs to be reversed. Click on enter. Click on enter. Look at the scheme. So in the document number 7, right, we transferred salaries 5,000 from SS01001 to SS01002. Similarly, we transferred wages from SS01001 to SS01002. So this document is going to be reversed. Click on save. So all the activities what you have done till today, we can reverse, right? Next, go back to notes, please. Put heading. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, processing of cost center master. Put heading. Processing of cost center master records. There are two types of processing of cost center master records. Number one, individual processing. Number one, individual processing. The following functions are available. The following functions are available in the following path. The following functions are available in the following path. In the individual process. In the individual process. Accounting. Accounting. Controlling. Cost center accounting. Cost center accounting. Master data. Master data. Cost center. Cost center. Individual processing. Individual processing. Under that, write down like this only. KS01, create. KS01, create. KS02, change. KS03, display. KS04, delete. KS05, display changes. KS05, display changes. So here we can create a single cost center. We can edit a single cost center. We can display single cost center. We can delete single cost center, and we can display changes to single cost center. This is called individual processing, right? Next, number 2. Collective processing. Collective processing. In this type, the following functions are available. Under the following path. The following functions are available under the following path. Accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, cost center accounting, master data, cost center, collective processing. Collective processing. Under that, write down like this only. KS12 change. KS12 change. KS13 display. KS14 delete. KS07 rough it. KS07 rough it. Means here in the KS12, we can edit a group of cost centers, right? Then in the KS13, we can display a group of cost centers. Then in KS14, we can delete a group of cost centers. KS07 rough entry. So what is rough entry? Right? Again, put heading. Rough cost center. Put heading rough cost center. These are the cost centers. These are the cost centers which are created in the rough entry screen. In the rough entry screen, KS07. In the rough entry screen, KS07. We cannot post any transactions. We cannot post any transactions to the rough cost centers. They are used only for the validation purpose. Only for the validation purpose. When the cost center accounting is not implemented completely. When the cost center accounting is not implemented completely. So what is this validations? I will send you the documentation at the end of the classes, training sessions. Okay. Continue. We cannot maintain complete master data. We cannot maintain complete master data for the rough cost centers. For the rough cost centers. We can maintain only the following master data. We can maintain only the following master data for the rough cost centers. For the rough cost centers. Number one, validity period. Number one, validity period. Number two, cost center ID. Name, company code, and business area. So this is only the data what we can maintain. And also we cannot post any transactions to this rough cost centers, right? Now, here, at the time of posting to cost elements, right? Every time we are entering the cost center, right? Assuming that the cost is to be posted to particular cost center, right? So here in our training class, we have created only 5-6 cost centers, and also we are posting to the cost centers just like that without any logic, right? But in the real time, in your client, we have the 500 cost units, right? Then we have 75 cost centers. We have 75 cost centers. Then at the time of posting to every cost element, the user has to select the cost center from one of the 75 cost centers. For that, he has to remember which cost element is to be posted to which cost center. Is it possible for him to remember like that? No. In that case, how the user knows which cost element is to be posted to which cost center, right? For that, we use one activity, default account assignment, right? Right. Put heading. Default account assignment. Default account assignment. Using this function, we can ensure that the postings to A, particular cost center, the postings to A particular cost center, the postings to A particular cost element, the postings to A particular cost element is always posted to required cost center. For this purpose, we can assign the cost center. In the cost element to master requirement. This is called default account assignment. As a result, at the time of posting to the cost element, the system automatically defaults. The cost center. If necessary, the user can change the cost center even at the time of posting. For example, the wages cost element, is always to be posted to the cost center. SS01001 is always to be posted to the cost center SS01001. For that purpose, we can assign the cost center. SS01001 in the cost element 4,200,000. procedure. Go to the transaction code KA02. Go to the transaction code KA02. Change cost element to master account. Change cost element to master account. Cost element is equal to cost element is equal to 4,200,000. Click on enter. Click on enter. Click on default account assignment. Click on default account assignment. Cost center is equal to SS01001. SS01001. Click on save. Now look at the screen. I am posting to various posting date 27/12/2022, period 9, currency INR, posting key 40, account is 4,200,000, click on enter. See, cost center is automatically defaulted. So like that, right, at the time of implementation itself, the CO consultant, by consulting with the costing department, he will decide which cost element is to be normally posted to which cost center. Then in those cost element master records, he assigns the respective cost center. So even at the time of document entry, if necessary, we can check it. If necessary. This is very, very useful function from the real-time user perspective. Right? Next. Now, here we have created assessment cycle, periodic reposting cycle, and distribution cycles, right? So KSU1 cycle, this is KB change. See, we have selected iterative checkbox. We have selected iterative checkbox. Not only in the assessment cycle, in the periodic reposting cycle, right, and distribution cycles also, we have selected iterative checkbox. So what is the impact of selecting this iterative checkbox? Press F1. See, this indicator controls whether iterative sender-receiver relationships are considered when the cycle is processed. Iterative means repeated, right? So this indicator controls whether iterative sender-receiver relationships are considered when the cycle is processed. This iteration is repeated until each sender is fully credited, and a small reminder may be left over in some cases. That means what? See, here we have the 2 production cost centers and 2 service cost centers, right? So each service cost center is rendering services to other cost centers also. That means Department C is giving services to Department D, and again, Department D is giving services to Department C, right? In this case, right, how the cost is allocated. This I've already explained. Repeated redistribution of overheads, right? So Department A, Department B, Department C, Department D, right? So this is the primary cost. 1 lakh for the Department A, Department B 1,50,000, Department C 10,000, sorry, 1,000, Department D 500, right? Then the cost of Department C, which is a service cost center, is to be allocated to Department A 50%, Department B 40%, Department D 10%. Then Department D cost is to be allocated to Department A 50%, Department B 40%, 10% to Department C. So this cost we have allocated like this. First we take the cost of Department C, 50% to A, 500 rupees, 40% to B, 400 rupees, then 10% to D, 100 rupees. Now the cost of department C becomes 0. Now what is the total cost of department D? 600, right? So again, you take the 600 rupees that is allocated to 50% to A, that is 300 rupees, 40% to B, that is 240 rupees, and department C will get 10%, 60 rupees. Again, you take the 60 rupees, you do the apportionment. Then D will get 6 rupees during the process of apportionment. Again, you take the department D 6 rupees, you will reapportion it. Then C will get 60 paisa. Again, you take the 60 paisa and you do the reapportionment. This is called repeated redistribution of overheads. So if you select this activity checkbox, the system will perform this activity automatically, if applicable. Clear? Then activity types. See, activity types are the activities which are carried on in a cost center. Activity types are the activities which are carried on in a cost center. We can measure the quantities of activity types. These activity quantities are used to allocate the overheads in the cost center accounting and product costing. Generally, these activities are measured in terms of time or quantity, etc. Example, mission hour, labor hour, repair hour, setup hour, etc. Means, suppose, for example, we have repairs and maintenance cost center, right? So what is the activity that is carried on in the repairs and maintenance cost center? Repairs and maintenance. That is called one activity type, right? Similarly, we have the mission operation cost center. So what is the activity that is performed there? Mission operation. We have one cost center which supplies the labor to other cost center. So the activity is there, labor supply. Like that, the activities which are carried on in a cost center is called activity type. Sometimes it is possible to measure the activity types, right? Sometimes only. So these activity types can be measured either in terms of time or quantity. Say, for example, mission hour is the time, right? Power generation, kilowatt hours, right? Quantity. So power generation is activity type, right? So quantity. So like that, these activity types can be measured either in terms of time or quantity. Then the quantities of activity types are used to allocate the overheads from one cost center to another cost center. Till now, we have seen, right, distribution of overheads, assessment of overheads, then reposting of overheads, periodic reposting of overheads. Then when do we use these activity types to allocate the overheads? Remember, whenever it is possible to measure the quantities of activity types in the service rendering cost center and also service receiving cost centers, then only we use the activity type quantities. Suppose it is not possible to measure the quantities of activity types. In that case, we can use either assessment or distribution or periodic repostings according to client requirement. And also, we can calculate the price per unit of each activity type. We can calculate the price per unit of each activity type. Examples are mission hour rate, labor hour rate, setup hour rate, etc. We have to maintain the master record for each activity type in the cost center accounting. So before maintain the master record for the activity type, we have to maintain a secondary cost element for each activity type and assign it in the activity type master record. Say, for example, we have one training cost center, right? So in the training cost center, what is the activity type? Training, right? Internal training. Then this training can be measured in terms of number of hours. Say, for example, in the training cost center, there are a number of faculties, right? So salaries paid to these faculties is directly posted to training cost center. Let us say 20,000, right? Then we have paid the rent for the training premises, right? So total cost is 50,000. So this training cost center in the month of December has worked for 500 hours, 500 training hours. Number of trainers into, right? Number of hours worked by each day by each trainer into number of days. That gives you the total number of training hours, right? So the total cost is 50,000, right? Total number of hours worked is 500 hours. Then cost per hour 100 rupees. This is called activity type cost. Cost per unit of activity type. Still not clear for everybody? Then in the month of December, we have recruited some employees in the Department A and Department B. So this training cost center has given the training to the new employees of Department A and Department B. So in the Department A, the training cost center has spent 250 hours. And in the Department B, 250 hours, right? So already you have calculated the cost per hour, right? 100. So in that case, 250 hours into 100 rupees per hour, 25,000 is posted to Department A under the head training cost. Similarly, 250 hours into 100 rupees per hour, 25,000 is posted to Department B under the head training cost. Do you have any GL account with the name training cost? No. So this training cost is to be created as a secondary cost element again. So in the assessment, we have created one secondary cost element, right? Now again, in the activity types, again we create the secondary cost element with the category number 43. Assessment cost element is, what is the category number? Can anybody tell? Assessment cost limit category 42.
41.
42.
42.
See, 42 assessment cost limit. So this category is used to apportion the cost of the service cost center to the other cost centers. Then 43 allocation cost elements. This category is used to allocate the overheads on the basis of activity quantities to the cost centers. Clear, no? Clear? So we have to create a secondary cost element with the cost element category number 40. Now, this activity prices can be used. The activity quantities and activity prices can be used to allocate the overheads in the cost center accounting and also in the product costing. Let us see how. See, allocation of cost from one cost center to another cost center in the cost center accounting, right? Say, labor supply cost center we have, right? We have one labor supply cost center, right? So the main purpose of this labor supply cost center is all the workers are enrolled in this cost center. So wherever, in whatever cost center, the workers are necessary, this supply cost center, this labor supply cost center will depute the workers to those particular cost center. Okay? Remember, all the workers are engaged in this cost center, are registered in this cost center only. So in the month of December, we have paid a wages of 2 lakhs to all the workers. Then overtime wages 1 lakh, bonus 35,000 you have paid, labor welfare expenses 25,000. Then total cost 3,60,000. Then number of workers in the labor supply cost center, 50 workers are there. Then all the workers are working on 3 shifts, which is just impossible, but I have made an assumption. We are working on 3 shifts. Then number of working days in a month, 30 days. So total number of man hours or total number of labor hours, 50 into 24 into 30. 50 into 24 into 30. So total number of hours are 36,000. This is called activity type quantity. So what is the total cost? 3,60,000, right? So labor hour rate means total cost of the cost center divided by activity quantity. So 3,60,000 is the total cost divided by 36,000. That is 10 rupees per hour. That's how we can calculate the price per unit of activity type. Okay. This also I'm going to show you in the system, how the system calculates. Then we have two production cost centers, production cost center A and production cost center B, right? So this labor supply cost center, total number of hours are 36,000 hours, right? Out of this 36,000 hours, labor hours, 25,000 hours are used in the production cost center A. Then remaining 11,000 hours are used in the production cost center B. Total 36,000. Okay. Then here we calculated cost per hour 10 rupees. So to the production cost center A, cost allocated is 25,000 hours into 10, 2,50,000. Then production cost center B, 11,000 hours into 10 rupees per hour, 1,10,000. So total 3,60,000. That's how the activity type quantities are used to transfer the cost from one cost center to another cost center. Clear for everybody till now? Then, how the cost is allocated to the production cost centers? Product costing. Allocation of cost from the cost center to production orders. We have one production cost center A, right? So, in that production cost center A, we have consumed raw materials 1 lakh. Then stores and spares 1 lakh. Wages 4 lakhs. Power 3 lakhs. So total cost 9 lakhs. So in this production cost center, we have 50 plant and machineries. We have 50 machineries, right? Number of machines available 50, right? Then number of shifts working 3. Number of working days in a month 30, right? So total number of machine hours is, that is activity quantity. 50 machines into each machine works on 3 shifts means 24 hours into 30, 36,000 hours. Okay, then machine hour rate. Total cost divided by total activity quantity. That is 9 lakhs divided by 36,000, 25 rupees per hour. Then in this production cost center, in the month of December, we have produced 3 production orders. Production order number 1, production order number 2, production order number 3, right? So on the production order number 1, number of hours worked, 10,000 hours, right? This production cost center has spent 10,000 hours on the production order number 1. Then on the production order number 2, 20,000 hours are spent. Then on the production order number 3, 6,000 hours are spent. Then already we have calculated price per hour 25 rupees, right? Then for each production order, the cost to be allocated is 10,000 hours into 25 rupees, 2,50,000. Then production order number 2, 20,000 into 25 rupees, 5 lakhs. Production order number 3, 6,000 into 25 rupees per hour, 1,50,000. So total 9 lakhs. That's how the cost is also allocated in the product cost. Now, when we implement activity types, right, the planning will be a little bit different. When we implement activity types, the planning will be a little bit different. Like what? Activity independent planning, activity dependent planning. Till now, we have done the planning for the cost centers, right? But when we implement the activity types, then there are 2 types of planning we can do for every cost center. Number 1, activity independent planning and activity dependent planning. Means what is differences? What is activity independent planning and what is activity dependent planning? See, in the activity independent planning, right, we enter the planned values both for primary cost and secondary cost at the cost center level. It does not refer to any specific activity. In the case of activity dependent planning, we can enter the planned values both for primary cost and secondary cost for each specific activity in the cost center. See, in the case of activity independent planning, for each cost element, we enter the planned values at the cost center level, right? But in the case of activity dependent planning, we enter the planned values for each cost center at each activity level, right? In every cost center, we can carry on multiple activities, right? Do one thing. Go back to the page number 57, activity types. In each cost, continue. In each cost center, we can carry on. We can carry on a single activity type. We can carry on a single activity type or multiple activity types. See, here, activity independent planning, we enter the planned values both for primary cost and secondary cost at the cost center level. It does not refer to any specific activity. But in the case of activity dependent planning, we can enter the planned values both for primary cost and secondary cost for each specific activity in the cost center. I will give one example, don't worry. We can enter the planned values only for the fixed cost, but we can enter the planned values both for fixed cost and variable cost in the case of activity dependent planning. And planning is done at the cost center level. Planning is done at the specific activity level. Means see, we have cost center A, right? So in this cost center A, we are performing 3 activities. Activity type A or activity type 1. Activity type 1. Activity type 2. Activity type 3. Right? Now, in the case of activity independent planning, So, in the case of activity independent planning, we enter the planned cost at the cost center level. Means salaries, 20,000. Wages, 30,000. Rent, 50,000. So the salaries is for the total cost center. Means for all the 3 activity types together, salaries is 20,000. Expected salaries. For all the 3 activity types together, wages is 30,000. For all the 3 activity types together, rent is 50,000. This is called activity independent planning. But activity dependent planning. So in the case of activity dependent planning, right? Salaries. Salaries total is 20,000, right? But activity 1, say 10,000. activity 2, say 5,000. Activity 3, 5,000. Similarly, wages, 30,000, right? This 30,000 is entered activity type wise. Activity 1, 15,000. Activity 2, 8,000. Activity 3, 7,000. So here in the cost center A, right, total expected salaries is distributed among the activity types, right? Similarly, rent is also entered at the activity type level within the cost center. So in the case of activity dependent planning, the planned values are entered for each combination of cost center and activity type, as simple as that. In the case of activity dependent planning, right, the costs are entered for each combination of cost center and activity type. Now, we will see how to calculate activity price in the case of both activity independent planning and activity dependent planning, right? Just a minute. Yes, I am back. So I am going to create one activity type, labor supply, right? So before creating the activity type master record, we have to create a secondary cost element with the category number 43. So creation of secondary cost element, KA06. Cost element is equal to 10 lakhs. Cost element is equal to 10 lakhs. Valid from 1/4/2022 to 31st December 9,999. Click on enter. Name is equal to labor supply cost. Name is equal to labor supply cost. Description is also labor supply cost. Cost limit category 43. Internal activity allocation or allocation costing. Cost limit category is equal to 43. Click on save. Click on save. Then creation of activity type KL01. The activity type is equal to SSKVA, just like that. The activity type is equal to SSKVA, valid from 1/4/2022 to 31st December 9,999. Click on enter. Name is equal to labor supply activity. Name is equal to labor supply activity. Description is equal to labor supply activity. Description is equal to labor supply activity. The activity unit is equal to H, means hours. So how do we measure this activity type? In terms of number of hours, right? This unit of measurements were already defined in the system. Cost center category is equal to asterisk. So this activity type can be carried on in all the cost centers. The activity type category 1. The activity type category 1. Manual entry, manual allocation, right? Right down here. The activity type category determines. The activity type category determines how the quantities of activity types, how the quantities of activity types are maintained in the center cost centers and in the center cost centers and receivers cost centers and receivers cost centers. Activity, sorry. Okay. In the center cost center and receiver cost centers. In the, sorry, the activity type category 1 represents. Activity type 1 category represents that the quantities of activity types are maintained manually. The activity type quantities are maintained manually. The activity type quantities are maintained manually. In both the receiver cost center and the center cost center. So other categories we will discuss later on. For the time being, I am using activity type category 1 means manual entry, manual allocation. So in both receivers and senders, we enter the activity type quantities manually and allocation is also done manually. See, allocation cost limit is a free. So without creating the secondary cost limit, we cannot maintain the master record for activity type. Price indicator is equal to price indicator is equal to 1. Price indicator is equal to 1. Within, I will explain this price indicator within brackets. 1 means planned price automatically based on activity. Planned price automatically based on activity. I will explain you what is this price indicators. Then, just a minute. Yes. So price indicator is equal to 1, right? Planned price automatically based on activity. Then actual activity type category 1. Actual activity type category 1. Here some fields are missing, right? After price indicator, here actual activity price indicator. You have to add the word actual. Actual activity price indicator 1. No. Actual activity type category 1. That is missing there. Actual activity type category 1. That is missing there. Then actual activity price indicator. Here you add actual activity price indicator. 5. Actual price automatically based on activity. Actual price indicator 5 within brackets. Actual price automatically based on activity. Click on save. So what is this price indicator, right? See, write down here. The price indicator controls, not like that, write down. The price indicator determines. The price indicator determines. No. Strike it off everything. Right now, for each activity type, we can calculate actual price and the planned price. For each activity type, we can calculate actual price and the planned price. The price indicator determines how the actual price and the planned price per unit of activity type is calculated. See, here there are 3 types of price indicators for planned price and actual price. Here, see, planned price indicator, right? 1 means planned price automatically based on activity. 2, planned price automatically based on capacity. 3, determined manually. So what does it mean? See, planned price indicator 1, 2, 3. 1 means planned price automatically based on activity. Planned price automatically based on capacity. That means, say for example, install the capacity of your plant and machinery. Install the capacity 10,000 hours. Install the capacity 10,000 hours, right? Per month. Okay. But it's not possible to attain install the capacity in any case normally, right? So planned activity type or planned activity quantity. So we are planning that we can work up to 8,000 hours, right? Then planned cost of activity type is, say, 1 lakh rupees. Planned cost is 1 lakh rupees, right? Now Installed capacity is 10,000 hours. Planned activity quantity is 8,000 hours. Now, if you use 1, right, planned price automatically based on activity. That means price indicator 1 means planned cost 1 lakh divided by planned activity. Divided by planned activity 8,000 hours, which comes to, right, 12.5. Suppose if you use the plan indicator to price indicator 2, price indicator 2. What is price indicator 2? Planned price automatically based on capacity. That means one lakh divided by 10,000 hours installed capacity, which comes to 10 rupees. That is the difference. So 3 means we enter manually. Clear, no? Here system calculates, right? In the case of 3, right, we enter manually. Similarly, actual price indicator 5. So here everything is same, right? But actual cost is taken by the system. So actual price indicator 5 means actual price automatically based on activity. 6 means actual price automatically based on capacity. 7 means manually determined for actual allocation. Clear, no? Now, creation of cost centers, KS01.
Sir, is there any possibility to take same sir, or else we can take different?
Planned price and actual price may be same or may be different based upon your performance.
Okay.
Cost center is equal to SS0 to 004. Cost center is equal to SS0 to 004. Valid from 1/4/2022 to 31st December 9,999. Click on enter. Name is equal to labor supply cost center. Description is also labor supply cost center. Person responsible A. Cost center category 9, allocation cost center. So for the cost centers where we use the activity types, we use the allocation cost center category 9. Hierarchy area SS02. Business area SSKV. Currency INR. Currency INR. Click on save. Ignore the warning message. Then creation of cost center group, KSH1. Cost center group is equal to SSKV underscore LBR, labor supply cost centers. Cost center group is equal to SSKV underscore LBR. Click on enter. Description is equal to labor supply cost center. Click on insert cost center. Cost center SS0 to 004. Click on insert cost center. Cost center is equal to SS0 to 004. Click on save. Then planning cost center wise, KP06. Activity independent planning, please remember. So in the case of activity independent planning, we enter the planned values at the cost center level, right?
Sir, here instead of we are clicking the low level, we click the different button, we can delete that cost center, sir.
Yeah, that we can delete. I will let you know how to delete, right? I have not yet worked on that. I mean, I forgot actually that point. Okay. I will check and I will let you know how to delete the wrongly allocated cost center. Okay.
Yeah. So if we do any mistake, we can proceed for further. We need to
Yeah,
stop
you can
there.
proceed further. No issues. You can proceed further.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't wait for that rectification. You can proceed further. Then planning cost center wise, KP06. Version is equal to 0 from period 9 to period 9. Fiscal year 2022. Cost center SS0 to 004. After that, write down. Remove the group and activity type. Remove the group and activity type. You enter the cost center, you strike off this activity type. Cost element is equal to, just like that, 4,100,000. 4,100,000. Select to form based. Click on overview screen. Planned fixed cost is 7,20,000, just like that. This is the planned cost. Click on save. Then planning activity hours, KP26. We enter the planned quantity of activity hours, KP26. Version is equal to 0 from period 9 to period 9. Fiscal year 2022. Cost center SS0 to 004. Activity type SSKVA. Remember, in this cost center, for this activity, we are entering planned quantity. Select form based. Click on overview screen. Plan activity 72,000 hours. Click on save. So planned cost is 7,20,000. Planned quantity 72,000 hours. Now we can calculate activity price. Planned activity price calculation. Transaction code KSPI. Cost center group is equal to SSKV underscore LBR. Labor cost centers. Cost center group is equal to SSKV underscore LBR. Version is equal to 0. Period is equal to 9 to 9. Fiscal year 2022. Select test run. Select detail lists. Click on execute. See, total price 10 rupees per hour. Click on save. So we have calculated activity price in the case of activity independent planning. So how to calculate activity price in the case of activity dependent planning, we will see tomorrow. So there are some people who did not attend yesterday and attended today only. So from tomorrow onwards, right, we have the class from 7 p.m. 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. right, every day. Some people did not attend yesterday and I have forgotten to give you the mail, right? So today I have started the class at 7 p.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. From tomorrow also, we have the class from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Indian time. right? And regarding your errors, right? I have to check again. I have to check still. I did not find the time because total last week, 10 days, right? I was absorbed in the marriage activities. So I stopped all my activities. Now this week only I started working. So number of works are pending, right? So I'll be coming one by one. Yeah, Bhairav, I will activate. Okay, then see you tomorrow.